I got to work on the volume there.
I did not see it, by the way, just so you
You
know.
didn't see it?
I still
Oh,
have not
okay.
seen this intro. I don't even know what it
Oh,
is.
well, if anybody has any comments on the intro, send them into Ryan
Please
so
send
we
them to
can.
Ryan because I don't know what it looks like.
All right,
Well, well, back. Welcome back to the Low Bearing Opinion Podcast. My name is Ryan,
and I'm CJ.
and we are straight talk, no script, and no apologies.
No corporate buzzwords, no fluff, and hopefully just some opinions that are load bearing.
And you are back with the high vis heavyweights.
We're,
Is I think what we're going with?
we're testing it out. What do you
We're
think?
testing, dipping the toe in the water.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is the first recording we've actually done since we popped everything live, right?
It is, and it was a. I don't know. I wasn't too nervous about it, to be honest with you. I didn't really. I don't know. I mean, when we started this, we were like, "Hey, we don't really care where this goes. It's just about our conversations." I guess is that right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we said
yeah.
that, and we probably did. We probably didn't believe it. But anyways, I would say I woke up to a couple texts that I was kind of like, like, "Hey, heck yeah!" A few people reached out and was like, "Hey, man, I
Mm-hmm.
love it." So it was a
Yeah.
it's a cool experience.
And it's been getting pretty good traction. I mean, we're not some of the big boys out there yet, but we're getting
Yeah,
some
I would really
views.
like to know what numbers are good because like ours are low. I feel
So
like
I was watching an interview with Mr. Beast. Oh, is that trademarked? I don't know.
no, you. I think you
Uh,
could say it.
but I was watching a video with him, and he said the first 100 videos, you're not going to get any views. None.
Yes, but he kind of started when he was like 16 or younger than that. I don't
Yeah.
know. We're 30 and how old are you? Half a century? I can't remember. So I don't know. Maybe it's. I'm taking it as a win no matter what.
Hey, I think we're doing fine. Now we've got the Facebook page, the LinkedIn page, the website went live today. Um, we've got stickers coming.
Yes, they're in production. I just got
They're
the
in
email.
production.
They're in
So,
production.
and then we're going to be looking into shirts and other merch. So,
Yes, and now we're going to start doing that thing that some of you may not like, but everybody seems to do it and it works really well. Is the whole like, share, I don't know, do whatever.
smash that subscribe button.
Yes, smash the button. We're going to start like highlighting a subscribe button in the video when CJ figures that out somehow.
Well, I got more to learn. Yay!
Probably. We've got a lot to learn. Dude, we just barely got our website up.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. It was.
All right, so well, it is the Tuesday following Memorial Day, and I think that we absolutely want to recognize Memorial Day for what it is, which tell us what the definition is, or the real thing of Memorial Day.
I mean, Memorial Day is to remind ourselves of the people that have fallen for this country,
Mm-hmm.
the armed
Mm-hmm.
forces, and it can go deeper for that, even so, into police and firefighter and everything. I think, but it's mainly for the military, and it's to memorize, or that's not the right word. I keep saying the wrong word. Memorialize our. I'm terrible at this,
I
but
love I
memorialize
love I
our.
love having Ryan do these words
I know
because I
because
just know he messes them up.
yeah, I mess them up, but memorialize our fallen people in the
Yes.
military, and we
Yes.
both have people that have served. Neither one of us served, but we definitely want to, obviously highlight that this weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's more
And
than the cookout you did. It's more than the
hmm
the day off you got. It's more than that.
so thank you everyone who has served, and we will remember everyone who has fallen. So
Yes, yes.
okay, with those housekeeping items passed, what will we be talking about today?
So topic of the day is first big paycheck in construction. Or I tell you what, we talk about construction, but this goes for any young person starting out, I think, or
Hmm.
in any trade or any industry. But first big paycheck, what not to do, and what some things we've heard or even done ourselves that probably we shouldn't have.
Yeah, and it's not just that first paycheck, right? I mean, I know
No.
when I got into construction, I was working at a bowling center as a mechanic, and then working construction. I think I almost doubled my pay, and I went from working my 38 40 hours a week to I was working 60 hours a week. So the bump in that paycheck was extreme to me. So I mean, what is that?
Kind of similar to the same situation I had. I mean, I graduated high school working as a bagger at a grocery store, which I would never do that again. I think I'll just
But were
panhandle for
you out
change.
there? Were you out there in the parking lot policing the carts?
Not we didn't really have buggies that left the building. It was it was a very small grocery store. I was out there policing the cigarette butts that were all over the ground, and if I missed one, my boss lady would come to me and be like, "Hey, Ryan, you need to do a better job in the parking lot." Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Even though that guy just threw that down and he's walking to his car now. But anyways, but yeah, so I kind of same start for me. Went from like 7.25 an hour as minimum wage at that time, and I know that wasn't your minimum wage. I know it was like $2 for you, but uh, but no, went from minimum wage into my first paying job, or first, I guess, out of high school, was working in a manufacturing plant, made like $12 an hour, something like that. But then when I got into construction, I jumped up a pretty good bit and was like, man, this is nice. It's definitely better than what I was living off of.
Feels like some serious money, right?
It does. It does. I can actually, uh, you know, I was a big saver, so I saved some money and then blew some money, obviously too. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
All right, so what are people supposed to do with that first big paycheck? What? Well, what do they do now? Like, what do you see being done?
So I actually just had this conversation with some apprentices that was in my training class the other day, and we were out talking just during a break in class and just having some general conversation, and one of them had a nice brand new truck, last time he come to class, and was out there in the parking lot. And I don't know, I want to say it was last time. It's probably a few sessions ago that he actually got it, and I noticed it, and I was like, man, that's a nice truck, and well, this past session he came back, he was talking with me, and somebody had mentioned, like, "Yeah, what happened to that truck?" or something like that, and I was like, what are you talking about?" And I was like, "I didn't see it out there, but just thought you might be driving something different." And he goes, "No, man, I lost it. It got repoed." So I don't know the whole situation, and I ain't gonna air that out there anyways. But I mean, I assume as a young, and I've seen this happen to other people. It's not just him. I've had buddies that do this. They get that overtime paycheck or get that bump in pay, and they work overtime for 6 or 8 months, and they see that money come in, and they're like, "Hey, I can go buy the $70,000 truck now," and it's like, "Whoa, dude, hold on one second. Let's back up. That's a cool dream to have to get to that point, but look at where you're at. What do you need?" I just don't think the $70,000 truck's the answer, because at the end of the day, that's probably all you're going to be paying for.
Yeah. So do you see the things being bought more so than just blowing the money every week?
I think it's a little bit of both. It's not just the things. I would say that I've experienced this one. I wasn't a big like go out and buy new. I know you don't know me as this, but like when I was younger, I wasn't going out buying new cars all the time. I know you say I do now. Different part of my life, but anyways,
2 years. 2 years. He gets a car for 2 years.
no, it's not 2 years. It was three this last time. Anyways, so Uh, but before that, I had a little Hyundai Elantra for 5 years, and my money was being blown on the going out and having a good time on Friday and Saturday night, and I was scrambling to make it to Friday, but we had a lot of fun. Um, and I didn't have too much then. I had a little single wide trailer I was paying for, plus the car. The insurance was outrageous because my dad quit paying for my insurance, and I'd had a few wrecks, and I got to experience what he had to pay uh, for me to have insurance. So I had to start experiencing that. And I look back sometimes, and I'm like, man, I don't know how I made it to Friday. Um, I think I was, I wasn't scraping by, but like it was some tight weeks.
Yeah.
Never any
Well,
overdrafts, luckily, but there was some like down in the teens.
I had some overdrafts in my young career,
I
and
guess I had some, but not that many.
well, my thing was partying. So drinking, drugging, doing all the stupid stuff, and of course, I had some expensive hobbies back then. I used to bowl, and bowling was quite expensive when you do it as as a league member. Hey, I was a good bowler.
I know, I've heard. I've seen the
I was good.
trophies.
What? Where? I don't have
Didn't
any
you
trophies.
didn't you say you got
No, no,
trophies?
no,
I
no,
don't know. I was
no.
just messing with you.
I've got a ring.
You've got a ring, that's it.
I've got a ring for shooting 300.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's a heck of I've never done that. Came close.
Have you?
It was mid 200s. That's the closest I've come. But anyways.
But thinking back, I didn't buy the cars, the trucks, or anything like that. So, I mean, but it was just a constant. When I got a paycheck, I started spending the money. So
Yeah.
that was my experience.
Did you do the whole cuz like this was big, I guess, me coming up was we go out to eat for lunch. That was big. Did you ever do that, or was you always a bring your lunch guy?
It depended on where I was at.
Well,
Because
that's true.
I did
Yeah.
a lot of traveling. So when I was out of state, um, I didn't. I mean, I had an apartment, but you know, we would eat out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember trying to get in the truck and make it to the McDonald's and back in 30 minutes. And we would be like shoving food down our face just so that when we got back, we go back to work. And it was
Yeah.
like, was that really worth it? Probably could have just packed a ham sandwich today and
Yeah.
took 30 minutes off. But those were experiences. They were fun. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that was for me, it was the spending every Friday, Saturday night we were going out. Either that or there was a we'd be drinking at the house and fridge full until the weekend was over, and then we'd fill it back up on Friday, and that was just the way it was. And it was a lot of money just poured down the drain.
Now, and both of us had children young, so why did we act irresponsibly back then? Do you think?
So, my situation was a little different. I had a child at 19, uh, and it was in a situation where my my wife now, girlfriend at the time, we didn't live together. So it was like I had my own bachelor pad essentially in some cases, and it was a little bit different situation. But yeah, I mean, it was where I guess I had that free will on the nights uh, to just do whatever I wanted to, and that's kind of the way it was for me.
So you were living as a single man, single young man, and
Essentially,
partying. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Um, Pretty much same. My son did not live with me for a lot of the time. So yeah, yeah. All right. So when did when did you grow up? When did you start being responsible?
So, well, what's funny is I started being responsible when I rolled a truck, and this is a fun part because, uh, you know, I guess my time, the partying and stuff like that. I never did do any of the drugs or anything like that, but we
You
drank
don't
and
know what you're missing.
yeah, yeah, that's what you tell me, even though you don't do it anymore. Anyway,
No,
so
don't do them, man. They're dumb.
I know, and so I guess 19. I was 19, 20. I might have been 20. I think I was 20. Uh, I had a car wreck. I flipped a truck that I just got. I'd been in a wreck about a year, or no, 3 months before. Well, I guess it's like 6 months before this, I guess technically, because I got the truck back. It took a while for the truck to come back to me. But a lady had pulled out in front of me, essentially totaled the truck. I wound up getting it fixed anyways, paying some extra money to have it fixed. That wasn't my fault. Somebody pulled out in front of me, but the wreck when I rolled it was totally my fault. Now I wasn't drinking and driving, but we had been out all night drinking, and that probably didn't help any of the situation the next day when we were headed out. And so uh, wrecked the truck, had to call my dad and be like, "Hey, I need you to come help me flip my truck back over and get it loaded on a wrecker." The guy that had just did all the paint work came and was like, "Well, that was ruined." And so we got that loaded up, and after that, I guess is when I was like, "Hey, I got a 3-month-old son. Um, this is it's got to change. It's got to change." And I did. I did. Um, I kind of did a 180 at that point and was like, "Hey, this is something that I've got to make it. I got to make a change in my life."
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did.
Oh yeah.
So,
So I made it young. I would say that like the it was a decision I made younger. I know yours came kind of probably a little bit later in life. I'll let you
mhm.
tell yours in a second, but mine was I was younger when I made the decision, and I would tell you this. Um, it, it's something that you need to do if you're in that situation now. It's make that decision young because it I'll let you tell yours and we'll experience that.
Well, I mean, you know, it's hard. It's hard to persuade somebody to grow up, right?
Yes.
It's. I mean, we all know. If you haven't heard by now, I'm an alcoholic, in recovery. I've been clean and sober since 2008. But it took a lot for me to get to the point where I felt like I was hitting rock bottom, and for me, I did have a high bottom. I didn't lose everything. I didn't lose the wife, the children, the career. I mean, I almost lost a career, and luckily they gave me a second chance. But it's extremely difficult for somebody to hear that they need to change and grow up or become responsible when they're not ready to hear that. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, these two jackasses are, they're just trying to be my dads, yeah, you're not ready to hear this yet, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I
Exactly.
mean, when I was ready to hear it, when I damn near lost everything, it it turned my life around.
Yep. And so I can promise you, uh, and I have great parents, so like it wasn't my parents that I wasn't listening to or anything like that. And like I said, I never really pushed the envelope too far. Um, but I would say that obviously, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like you're acting like your dad right now, then CJ's right. It's definitely you're not going to listen to us either. But I would tell you this: don't for me, it was a terrible sitting sideways in my truck, watching all of the dust and stuff settle, and thinking about how much worse it could be. That's not a fun experience at all. I would tell you, make the change.
Yeah, yeah, and some people never do. Like I've got friends of mine that are still living it up
Yep,
at my age, at our age. So I mean,
yep.
hey, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. As Ryan loves to hear me say, "You do you, boo."
You do you, boo. That's it. That's like the coin phrase. I have that quoted on your contact in my phone.
If you are ready to hear maybe some alternative ways of thinking about your life and maybe some things that you can change to improve your future self, now is when you need to listen up. So, what do we want to impart? Now, we got to set the stage, right? We gotta dun 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 do some. I need to get
Drum roll,
some.
please.
Yeah, young person, not even going to say they're 20, 25, 26. They're working in the trades. Doesn't matter if they're carpenter, welder, electrician, plumber, whatever. What do we want to say to them as they're working their normal job? And in construction, I think everybody can expect times of overtime
Yep.
and then times of regular time, 40-hour week jobs, right? So,
My best advice on what you're going into is, and this was given to me. This isn't me giving you advice, I guess. This is somebody that gave me a piece of advice, is that when you know, you can look at it two ways. When you get a raise or when you're working that overtime, right? Like what you was talking about, you can you can do a couple things. So, first off, budget your money around whatever you make hourly. What is your base? And when I say base, that
40 hours a
means,
week, right?
yeah, 40 hours a week. If it's 40 hours, 40 hours a week, if it's $20 an hour, that is what you base everything off of. So, I mean, your budget should work within that, as far as what you're paying out. Um, Anything that's left over after that, and let me say this real quick. We are neither one of us are financial advisors. So do
No.
not take this as like a solid financial advice from like Dave Ramsey or something like that. I don't know. That's just somebody I thought of off the top of my head there. I'm not doing the snowball effect with you. But so what I would say, and this is the advice that I was given, is whatever your base is, that's the money that you budget, that's the money that you pay for during the week, things like that, your bills, all of that. Everything else that you make overtime, uh, or uh, or a pay raise, take that money and either save it or invest it. And there's a couple different,
A good portion of it.
a
Maybe not
good
all of it.
portion of it.
Maybe
Yeah,
not all of it.
and when I say save it, like putting in a savings account doesn't mean you can't use it. It just means that like, hey, I'm going to be intentional about, hey, I'm gonna move this money over here so that I don't blow it right away. And if you want to spend it on something down the road or in a week or so, don't make the, and I guess I always get caught, and I'm bad about this. Is like as soon as I get a little bit of money, I'm like, hey, I want this, and it's like, man, maybe I should think about that before I buy it, right? Like let's take a day or two and figure out, like, do I really want this, or is it like that guitar? That was a impulse buy. Very big impulse buy. Wanted one for a really long time. I mean, I had the money to do it, but I was like, man, I've been wanting one of these. I'm just gonna pull the trigger. If I'd have waited a couple days, I'd have probably talked myself out of it again. Do I regret it? No. Should I? Probably. But no, what I would say is take that money, save it, or invest it. Now, investing, it's two different ways you can go here. If you got a 401k, and we'll talk about this in a minute, 401k is great. If you get a raise or you get some overtime, raise your 401k amount that you're putting in. Most companies match now too, so don't leave any money on the table there. With what they match, make sure you're getting exactly what they match, at least at minimum. You're putting in what they match at least, and then bump your 401k up if you're working. That's all going to go to your future retirement, or you can invest in like stocks and things like that. I would say be careful about investing in stocks and things. That's not
if
something.
if you need any stock picks, give me a call.
Don't do that.
I'm really good at picking stocks.
Don't do that. I'm very mad at CJ right now because of these things we talk about. But but no, I would say be careful investing in stocks and things like that. It is something you can lose money. A 401k is much safer. You're not G- for all of, well, for all of time that I've known about a 401k, I've never seen anybody just completely lose out on their 401k or anything like that. So it's safer bet. So do something like that with it. Like I said, if you do save the money, it's not like you're can't use it. I wouldn't say you got to put that kind of ceiling unless you're somebody that just needs that type of rule. But definitely make it where you're not just going to impulse buy something as soon as you get the little bit extra money.
Oh, and think about it this way. Everybody has Christmas coming up every year, right? So maybe put some money away early in the year so that you can have something to spend on your family at Christmas time. So, um, and absolutely the 401k, put it in early, and don't take any disbursements out I made the mistake of taking a disbursement out when I was younger. Um, Basically lost all that money. It, that's just silly. Leave it in there. Leave that's for down the road. So yeah, 401k, savings, investing into stocks or whatever. But do something with that money. Don't just spend it. I mean, it's so hard to fight that urge to buy. I
It
mean,
is.
marketing and I mean at its core, marketing is the study on how to separate somebody's money from them. How do we convince them to come buy something? Well, they've got millions of dollars invested in trying to figure out how to sell you something. And do you really need it at the end of the day? You know, that's
Yeah,
something that
I
you have
had
to
I
decide.
had that guitar since I was 16. Did I need that guitar? Not really. Did I want that guitar? Yes. I
No, and
and like
you see some drones back here that haven't flown in a few years. So, but I had to have them at the time.
yep. I would just say this is obviously I'm not going to tell you not to spend money because I guess you can look at the phrase if you only live once, you can't take it with you, things like that, whatever. I would say be careful about always being in that mindset. I think there's a balance to that mindset of yes, you save up a good chunk of money and you're like, hey man, I want to buy that guitar. Well, go do it. If you got the money to spend, whatever. But I would say this is don't. I've seen too many of my friends or people I know, and other people that I've heard about do it like where they're working overtime on a job for 2 years or something like that, where they're killing it, making over 60 hours a week every week, no problem, making huge amounts of money, and then they get shipped to another job that they're having to work 40-hour weeks for the first little bit, or for the end of that job, going to go to the next one, right? And it kills. I mean, it like
Hmm.
brings them to their knees almost on like, man, I can't keep doing this. I might have to leave and go somewhere else just to make that money. And so I would just tell you always work off what your base is, whatever that hourly rate is. And even when you get a raise, obviously um, you can raise a little bit of what you spend, but be careful about not changing your lifestyle every time you get a raise. I think you do that, it only keeps building and compounding over time that you keep raising that limit. And then you're going to be in a situation where you're like, man, I can't, I make really good money, but I don't have any money to spend because I'm paying either credit card debt or a
Hmm.
$70,000 truck or whatever that is.
And if you're gonna buy a truck, keep it for a few years.
Okay, chill out. Why you always got to go back to me with these things? Yeah, how many miles do I put on a truck in a year?
I don't know, like 40.
40,000 miles a year. In 2 or 3 years, I got over 100,000.
I got 170,000 miles on my truck. I've had it for almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. Yep, because
Yeah,
you bought it right after I started. Yep.
yeah, yeah, and it still
So
runs.
170. Yeah, but in 10 years, how many miles am I going to have on a truck?
400,000.
Okay, there we go. So
All right,
I would tell
so
you this. I would tell you this on the truck thing. Just you know, nothing's wrong with going out and finding your dream truck that's used. You ain't got to go buy the brand new. The brand new.
so 401k investments, savings. Don't go out and buy the brand new everything. Um, what about investing in tools? Is that something that is that an acceptable use of
It
money?
it is. I mean, I think it is. If you're, especially if you're working for yourself, definitely. Now, if you're working in the trades, I will say this. I don't know about how you was, but if you buy a really expensive hammer, it typically grows legs and walks off, or whatever, right? So I would always caution you: be careful because I've seen some guys. I've even seen an apprentice with a Martinez hammer, and I'm like, man, I would lock that thing to you with a chain and a padlock because that thing may go walking off. That's $300 hammer.
I don't even use a hammer that expensive. A $30. Well, what do S wings cost nowadays?
probably $30. I mean, depending
Yeah.
what ounce you get there. If you're getting your 12 ounce that you like, or the
Ah,
22 ounce.
where's my camera? Oh.
Smooth face, mind you. He's a smooth face. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, I mean, go buy you a decent, $30-$40 hammer if you're going to spend that kind of money. But I would not invest in a bunch of tools if you're working on a industrial commercial site. They tend to walk off. Be
yeah,
careful spending a bunch of money on that.
be careful in that respect. So what else can we talk about? Tools, investment, savings, truck, vehicles. Period.
Let me say this just because we talked about the 401k, but I want to make a mention real quick. When I was, I guess, when I started, I was 18. When I finally, I guess, had access to a 401k, I didn't put into the first one that I had access to at all. I just kind of went
Mhm.
that 2.5 years and didn't put any money into it. And then my second job that I had a 401k at, I finally started putting a little bit of money into it. And then I luckily had the option to cash out that one or roll it over. I rolled it over, thank goodness. That, don't do things like that when you leave a company. Don't cash it out. But I would tell you this: if you're 18, 19 years old, you're at a point in your life where you probably could, um, just generally speaking, most companies probably match 5 to 6%. Maybe that's a little high. Maybe some match a little lower than that. But if your company's matching 5% or 4%, put that in there. Put your 5% in and let them match your 5%. Get what you're, get what's on the table. They're going to give you that money. It's on the table. Get that. And if you can do more than that, obviously it's always best. I think they say like 10% is what most experts say. Like I said, we're not financial advisors. I'm not trying to advise you on those things, but 10% I think is what a lot of people say is like the really, rate you want to be at. But at least whatever you do at 18, 19 years old, or in your 20s right now, or in your 30s, or if you're in your 40s, whatever, start putting in your 401k and
It's
and just do it.
it's never too late to start, but the earlier that you do start, the better. I remember when I was in high school, way back in the day, uh, my one of my teachers said that if you put starting at 18, if you put $2,000 a year into a 401k and do it for I think she said 10 years, maybe not even that. Um, but if you did that starting at 18, that by the time you were retirement, you would have $1 million in there because of compound interest.
Hmm.
And of course, I mean, everybody in the class, all 30 something of us, we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go out and do that today. And you know, I know I didn't, but
Yeah. Well, and so I've known people that start later in life and they build a pretty good nest egg either way because, later in life, you've probably got more money or you're getting more money on your paycheck at that time. So you can probably make up for some of it. But, 18, 19 years old or even in your 20s, just go ahead and start contributing to it no matter what. Even if it's like I said, the match rate, the 5%, whatever, just do that. You won't see it, and it actually helps you in taxes, from what I understand. So, I mean, definitely just do it.
yeah. And bag your lunch. Don't buy lunch from the Roach Coach every day. You don't need
Yes,
that.
that will save you in multiple ways. It will save you those porta john trips, mid afternoon. It will save you. I mean, it will save you money. Just do that. Definitely pack your lunch. I was always one trying to go out and eat, and still kind of am today. I don't typically, I guess go out as much as I used to, but I still go out every now and then during the week when I could pack my lunch.
And I've worked with superintendents that been in the business 45, 50 years, and every day at lunchtime he pulls a paper sack out of his lunch, out of his desk drawer, opens it up, has a sandwich and an apple, and that's his lunch. And the dude's making a lot more than me at that time.
Yep, and that's probably why he, makes really good. We're not. I won't say that's why he makes really good money, but like why he has money is because of those
Yep.
things like that,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, I mean, definitely, I'll pack your lunch and just always be mindful of, uh, like if you have a week where you're like, man, why am I like trying to fill up my truck on Thursday with like the dollars that are in my change compartment in my truck? or the quarters that are in there, that means you probably need to look at your finances. Like that day, probably go home and be like, hey, how do I budget? There's plenty of YouTube videos, there's plenty of Excel spreadsheets that are already made that you can probably figure out on your own. There's apps on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many resources available to you now. I know they don't teach that in school. They didn't, at least when I was in school. I had like one
Yeah.
math teacher that taught us how to do things like that, which I think is a failure in the many things that our education
Hey, we're
system
not
fails at
being
doing.
political. We're not being
I know.
political
Well,
here.
I'm not getting political. I'm just saying. But
We
anyway,
are
so
we are not scared of becoming political, but
no, we're not.
that's not our main focus.
Yeah, that's not our main focus. There may be times where we get on here and rant about that, but I would say this: there's a lot of resources to you. Just go and figure out a budget for yourself. If you're scraping by to try to put gas in your truck, in these times where gas is $4 a gallon, it's definitely time for you to look at your finances.
Well, and it doesn't have to be a monumental shift.
No, no,
Instead of going out to get coffee in the morning, make your own coffee. You can make way better coffee at your house than you can going to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks.
that and like,
But instead of doing it 5 days a week, only go twice.
yeah, that Monster
Save,
energy drink, instead of buying two, just buy one in the morning.
or and hear me out here and listen to this. If you buy them in bulk on Amazon, you can save a lot of money.
That is true. That is true, because that Quick Trip and whatever gas station you're stopping at,
Mm-hmm.
they do that two for or buy two get one free,
Buy
or like
two,
buy two
yeah,
get half off, whatever
yeah,
the deal is. They're still like, for two of them, it's still like
yeah,
$10. Just
yeah,
so you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Way better if you buy them in bulk and leave them at the house. So
That, and I would say the other thing that I'm guilty of is, this is because I have kids, and we have Netflix, we have Disney Plus, we have, I don't know how many other subscriptions we have. In the world that we live in, subscriptions, you can lose track. They have a whole app. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. They have an whole app that they advertise that's like, oh, we will search out and cancel your subscriptions for you. If you don't know all the subscriptions you have, that's probably a problem.
yeah. Well, it's
That
so
means that you're
easy.
probably not using some of them.
It's so easy to forget everything that you sign up for because I want to watch a show on TV. Well, it's not on my normal thing, so I'm gonna have to go buy this or go get this app, and you subscribe to it, and then 4 months later you haven't watched anything else on that app. So yeah, go ahead and get rid of it.
Do you know how many Gmails I have that I created to get those 7-day free trials? Gmail finally told me I had to quit making them.
Yeah, just so you know, when we were doing all the podcast stuff here, we had to use my emails for his stuff because he had run out of
Gmail. Which that was
okay.
also something to do with work too. That wasn't just all the ones I was creating. But it was nice back when they used to let you get like 7 days free trials off of just punching in a new account or something like that. I think they've kind of mitigated where you can't do that now. But either way, just obviously be mindful. I would tell you this: don't let it get to a point where it is going to um, affect you, because it can affect you for years. I mean, paying yourself out of debt, recovering with nowadays credit score is such a big thing. Recovering from a repo vehicle, or um, some bill that you didn't pay, it could take years to get that back. And trying to start a family, if you're looking at doing that down the road, and that's all stuff that's just going to put pressure on you that you can avoid now, which goes back to our point earlier of, you might be listening to this going, I'm going to quit listening to this podcast because these two guys are trying to be my dad. That's really not what we're trying to do, but we are trying to give you some and things that we've seen and that we've experienced,
or
and
that we've lived through. Yeah,
or lived through, and I hope it makes something change in your life if it needs to. Obviously, like I said, you do you, boo.
that's
As
right.
CJ says.
and if you stick around and subscribe, then you'll hear all the things that I regret in my life. We've talked. I don't have any regrets. Everything that I've done in my life has led me to this point, so I'm happy that I've lived through it. learned from it, and you guys will hear about it. So, all right. Any burning desire finish up, because getting a little long in the tooth in this one.
Yeah.
Don't
trying
want
to
to
think.
sound too too judgmental. Like, we're just trying to give you some advice, man.
Yeah. That's all we're trying to do. And this is something that when we were kind of looking at topics, I was like, man, that one sticks out. Just because we hope that this podcast reaches people. It's not just young people. It's anybody. But hopefully it's something that you can listen to and find something and get something out of. And that's what we hope. Sometimes it's just going to be ranting and raving from CJ, but other times it's hopefully going to be something that helps you. That's what we hope.
Yep, yep. And I do get grumpy at some times, so.
You do get grumpy. You're becoming that grumpy old man. But
All right. So
uh
make sure to smash that subscribe button,
yes, like,
because
share.
if you don't, the high vis heavyweights are coming to get you.
Yep, the high vis heavyweights. I like it. I think it's sweet. I still think, our voting pool probably should have been a little bit more expanded, but we'll go with the high vis heavyweights.
We only have like 5 really really close friends,
I
and
know.
two of those were our wives. So,
Yeah, we're looking for friends, by the way.
ooh, can we? Do you want to subscribe to be our friends?
Yes. No. Probably not after that. Anyways, this is why we got to just end these things, definitely,
I
because we
know,
get
I
off
know.
into these things.
All right, so let's do a teaser for next week's
So
topic.
next week, yeah, hopefully you join us back here on the YouTube, the Facebook, the Apple Podcast, the whatever you want to join and listen to us on. We're going to be talking about the ego problem in construction. And this is a topic that CJ ranked up there number
This
one.
is
So we're
this.
gonna we're gonna rely on CJ next week some
Yeah, I've got some experience with the egos.
with the egos. It's a big thing. It definitely is a big thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and we want to hear your comments. Let's hear about all of your bad decisions financially, and maybe some good ones. Let's
Yeah,
showcase some good ones.
if you think of something we didn't hit on that's like, hey, I think somebody needs to know this, comment. We got an email. We'll talk about it on the show next week. You can find it on our website. We have all of our links on there. On YouTube, you can find us. You can comment there. All those things, but definitely leave us something. We want to hear your feedback. Want to hear your opinions. That's why we called it load bearing opinions. It's mine and CJ's opinions, but we want to hear yours as well.
Yeah, yeah. And just in case we weren't perfectly clear, the website is loadbearingopinions.com.
Yeah, I don't think we ever
I
mentioned
don't
that,
think
did
we
we?
said that. No.
Yeah, can you put that in the video? Can you
I
figure out how to across
I'll,
the top?
maybe not this one, but hopefully by the next one.
Okay. Yeah, loadbearingopinions.com.
All right.
All right. See y'all next time.
Have a great time. We'll see ya.